Okay, welcome back, guys, for another episode of Weekly Outlook. So we had an interesting price action last week, strong sell-off, and I think next week will be more interesting. So in this video, I want to talk about the key level I'll be watching on SPY and the game plan as well. So but before that, let's go over the weekly calendar and see what we need to deal with in terms of event before actually going over the analysis and the key level to watch for next week. So let's see what we have in the calendar here. So on Monday, we're pretty much going to have a chill day, nothing really crazy. However, on Tuesday, we have PMM data and some of the first speaker will be talking, Michael Barr. And I would say altogether the week should be better compared to the last 2 weeks, but still have a lot of Fed speaker that can have some comment that will move the market. So we can definitely see that on Thursday we have a bunch of Fed speaker that will be speaking, or we have again Michael Barr speaking, Stephen Marin, Philip Jefferson, and we also have initial double scale at every week. And the main key data in terms of economy that I'll be watching will be on Friday, the consumer sentiment. And every time we have this data, we tend to actually have a big volatility either up and down on that specific hour. So be really careful on Friday for this right here. And we're going to have the latest data on the consumer sentiment. And if we look at the previous rate, it was 55.5, and the forecast now is way lower, which is not really bullish, but we'll see how the data come out and see how the price action react. So let's actually go over the price action, the main thing here, and talk about what we had on the price action. So if we look at here on SPY, I'm going on the weekly time frame, and if you look at the past month, right, so pretty much on the past 4 weeks, we're pretty much having a nice, sell-off right here, right? So which is not really bad per se, right? And I think it was way more expected. I'm kind of mad that I didn't actually capitalize way harder on this. You just have to be really careful because the market been holding pretty interestingly after that big move right here. Here we pretty much have a nice move. So I actually told everybody to not focus to the upside. That's why I haven't opened a new swing over the long term, all right? Because it doesn't make sense at this level to actually do that. Unless we start breaking and started making higher high, I wouldn't be interested to take an entry for a long swing because there's always an opportunity where you can actually have a pullback, you can actually have a better entry. All right, and that's exactly what we have. We actually stay here for 10 December. All right, that's a long time. And for the past 3 weeks, 4 weeks, we actually end up losing the 680, which on one of the key level I want to talk about. So that was the key level to actually hold. That key level was pretty much holding pretty nicely. We actually lost it, came back for a retest 2 weeks ago, and now we pretty much went all the way down near, even below 650. So this right here, clear and straightforward price action for the past 4 weeks. You can see those red candle right here. All right, strong to the downside. If you look at for the past 4 weeks, how much move do we actually made? If you want to go from the high point right here to here, that's about 7% move, right? And I actually told you guys in the past that the market can actually make a move down to about 5%. We actually make a bigger move, 2% extra on that estimation that I had. So definitely, if you actually focus to the downside for the past couple of weeks, congratulations to you. You made a lot of money. So now, where do we go from here? All right, where do we go from here? So the key level, I have about a 4 key level in the zone that I'm definitely have on my watch right here. So this right here, pretty much the all-time high. We don't have to worry about that for now. We have to worrying about that when we actually reclaim a 680, all right? But the key level to watch in the short term would be the 650 and the 660, all right? And the 680, that's the key level that we need to actually go back for another retest if the buyer can actually show their strength, all right? So let's actually change this really quick. So again, we actually closed around 648.5. We closed below 650, right? Which is not the best. And we also have a big level of volume right here on last week. So strong selling pressure. So where do we go from here? So after this major move to the downside, there's a good chance we can actually have a bounce from here, especially getting inside the buying zone that I have right here. We can actually go lower and actually test the 640. That's going to be a key level. I'm watching for a bounce. If we get there, I'll be a buyer at 640. But however, I think we can actually have a bounce, but we'll see, right? We still have a lot of war news coming on next or this weekend that can actually create more selling pressure. So I'm really interested to see how we actually open on Monday. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't open a position from Friday to this new week, I want to see how we actually open on Monday, how we actually kick off this week. Are we gonna go and reclaim a 650? Well, if we're gonna be 650, then I'm definitely looking to actually play the upside because I want to see a test to the 650 and actually have a reclaim for a major big push to the 680. That might take about 2 weeks. We'll see how we actually play it out. But if you actually go to another sell-off, then I'm probably gonna be looking for a bounce at 640, especially if you can actually come down to the 640 and break it and actually reclaim it. I want to play that bounce to go back. I'm definitely going to be looking for a possible, deep buy for sure. And if I see some weakness from the buyers, then I'm probably gonna play the downside. All right. And as we actually having that move down right here, that will be a good time to start looking for long-term opportunities. Right. Again, right here, we didn't want to actually look for long-term opportunities, but now the market actually give about 7% move down. We can actually look for long-term opportunity if we happen to actually bounce from a good, pullback. Because to be honest, if you lose that zone right here, we can go all the way down to the 610 on spot, and that would be really, really a major move all the way down here. All right, we can actually go down here, and if we look at from where we are right now to there, it's not really crazy. It's about under 6% move down. All right, but we're not most likely we're not gonna go there right away. If we can actually go there, we can either actually have a bounce first and maybe later hitting that level. All right, that's something I'm definitely watching as well. If you actually have a bounce, if you can actually have a continuation bounce to go for a continuation to the upside, then most likely we can easily start forming either a new trend and start making lower high, and where we actually go down and hit those level and have a major pullback on the even higher time frame, which would be the monthly time frame, and have a continuation on that pullback right here to get here. Right, that means most likely April and May might be a bit hard if that happen. If not, then we can actually have a green April month where we actually bounce on that zone, reclaim the 650 and trying to go back to the 680 with another temptation to go for a new all-time high. So that's on the weekly time frame. So if you go to the daily time frame, that's how those key level watching, those key level are really still valid. Oh yeah, major red candle on Friday, right? And if you can actually reclaim these, then we'll see if you can actually go for the 650. Well, I already said that. And if you can reclaim that, go higher. But definitely, as we go to the 650, I'm definitely want to be watching for possible rejection, right? Unless the buyers are really strong to actually reclaim it. But if they're not strong, we can easily reject and try to actually go lower. All right. And I think if you can reclaim the 650, another key level on the daily time frame, also if a day trader you want to watch, it's going to be the 670. You definitely want to actually have the 670 on your watch as well. Let's actually make this orange, right? So the 670, if you go to the 4 hour, right, that's a key level I'm definitely going to be watching. As we come back here, we can actually have that trend line that we actually break here. As we actually bounce, definitely the 650, I want to see the reclaim for that. And that will be really perfect as we trying to actually reclaim the 650, break the trend line, and also retest the 670. All right, so that's something I'm definitely watching. Again, as we already have that, downtrend forming on the 4 hour. That's what we have right here. You can see the downtrend right here forming. All right, so the next step will be probably most likely a bounce before actually going lower. All right, and that's the pattern that we see right here, making lower high, lower high, lower high, and lower lows, lower lows, lower lows, lower lows. All right, so now we're going to go up right here and make another lower high, and let's like we pretty much having a bounce, a reversal. All right, could I go and go? We will see. All right, that we only have to wait about how we open. And the one thing here, right, it's not about only TA technical analysis. Right, there's also a lot of news that actually influence the market that make it a little bit harder right now, especially if you did trade and scalp. It's more easier right now if you can actually be patient for opportunity and you stay away from choppy price action. So that's what I have right here. And I think again the key level to actually watch, you want to be about 650, yes, but definitely go for 650, because if you look at the price action as well, you see on the selling pressure what we have. All right, so we pretty much have that selling pressure. That's something we need to actually notice. People actually miss that. People who are not still on the market, we pretty much actually have a strong move, right? Touch that demand zone, and we have a strong bounce. All right, we actually bounced a little bit before the close, 15 minutes before the close, but after that we have some news again. Though almost half, I would say more than 70% of the sell-off was recovered after hour. Guess what? If you actually bought the dip right here, you'll be green really nicely if this hold, because that was a strong move. All right, from 646 to all the way to 653, that's a big move that actually happened. And if you cut that on Monday, you will be paid. So that's about like 1.5%. So if you're in calls right now, there's a good chance it can be paid. If future is able to hold overnight and over the weekend, then you'll be paid for next week. So that's what I have here for this video. Let me know in the comment if you like that video. Make sure to like and subscribe as well if you haven't, and catch you guys on the next video.